Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to do a lovely festive piece. It can be nice for winter, lovely for Christmas. It's this gorgeous snowman in a snow globe. Okay, so let's get our materials together and you can follow along step by step and create your own snowman in a snow globe. So we need a pencil and a rubber for drawing. We need some paint. We're going to paint this piece. And then we're going to use oil pastels for outlines or any extra details. Okay, we need our paint. I have a few pastel colors here. I have over on the side, I have blue and white, which I will use for my background and mix. And I have my paintbrushes and my water. I also have a rounded shape, this plate. I'm going to trace around this to give me that perfect circular snow globe shape. So if you've anything at all, have a wee look to see, do you have a circular shape, similar size? That is a perfect size on my A3 sheet of white paper. So just have a wee look if you've any kind of plastic dinner plates that could do the same trick. So I'm going to start, and the first thing I'm going to do is trace around my little dinner plate to make my snow globe shape. Okay, that's the first step. Now make sure you leave some room at the bottom and some room at the top. Okay, away. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the base of the snow globe. So down at the bottom of the snow globe, I'm going to use my pencil and draw a line all the way down to the end of the page. And repeat the step on the other side. Bottom of the snow globe, draw a line down to the end of the page. That's the base of our snow globe. Now, when it comes to the base, you can be as creative as you like. You can do any colors you like. You can do any designs you like. On this sample, you can see that it's purple with a couple of white squiggly lines, zigzag lines, and some white dots. But you can do anything you like. In this one, I think I'll do it a little bit different just to show you something different. So I'm going to do a few stripes. And as I said, this is where you can be creative and put your own stamp on it. Do a few stripes, and I'm going to pop in maybe a few little festive details. So maybe I'll do stars on the first one. Okay, and maybe on the next stripes, I will do some trees. Keep your shapes nice and simple so that they're easy to colour. You don't need to do anything too detailed here. And the next one, I might do some nice bows. To create my bows, I just do kind of like a heart shape and two little squiggly lines coming out of the bottom of them. They do the trick. Okay, and then on the bottom one, I might do some nice snowflakes. And to create that snowflake, you start off two diagonal lines into an X, line across the middle, and then do some V shapes on each line. Nice and simple. Now I'm probably going a bit fast. You can pause the video and then take off when you're ready again. Okay, so that's my base done. I'm happy with that. Now the next drawing stage is we're going to add in the snowman and the snow globe. Now I've stuck with one snowman. You could add in a few more. You could do two little snow people. You could do a little snow lady and a snowman. You could do a little family of snowmen. Like, it's totally up to you, whatever you'd like to do, but I'm just going to stick with one. Okay, now we're going to do this little layer of snow first. So starting a little bit, leave a little bit of space here at the bottom of the snow globe, and then do like a nice gently curved line across the page. It doesn't have to be dead straight. Do a nice little gentle curve for the snow. And now I'm going to add the snowman's body. when I'm adding the snowman's body, I'm not going to do 2 or 3 round circles. I want to show that the snow is kind of packed into the snowman. So when I do these shapes, I do like kind of nearly like an apple shape, where the top of my rounded shape comes down a little bit to show that there's another ball of snow sitting on top of it. Okay, so I'm not doing a full circular shape like my snow globe. I'm going up with a round line, and then it's kind of like the way it dips, like for an apple, and curve down the other end. And I'm going to do that again, and dip a little bit and around. Okay, now I'm ready to add a scarf. So again, I'm going to follow the shape of my snowballs and look for the scarf. It's kind of like a rectangle, but it's curved edges, and that's my scarf on. And I'm going to add my head, and again, I'm not doing a ball. I want my hat to be sitting on my head, so I'm doing a little more of a flatter shape at the top of that snowball. So that's the hat, where the hat is sitting. Now I'm going to add on my hat. That's the bottom of the hat. A nice woolly beanie on top, and it's all shape. Look at that, a semicircle and another semicircle. Okay, lots of lovely shapes to form our snowman. Then I'm going to add the other 2 parts of the scarf coming out. It's like they're flowing in the wind in that lovely snowy breeze. So I have 1, 2, 3 curved lines and join them at the bottom, and then rub out any lines that your scarf is going on top of that we really don't need, because the scarf is in front of the snowman's body, so we shouldn't see the lines of the body underneath, unless it was a see-through scarf, but I don't think so. These are nice woolly scarves for winter. Add the little ends to your scarf, and that's your basic snowman shape done. Now we just have to add a little bit of personality to our snowman. We can give him some eyes, and again, this is totally up to you how you would like to decorate him. You might want to do different eyes, you might want to do a different nose. I'm going to go with the traditional carrot. You might want to do a little orange or something. You can give a different nose if you like. And then a mouth. I'm just going to give a simple little smile. Some people like to do the little stones for the mouth. It's totally up to you. Okay, you can even give him some little cheeks if you like. If you're doing a snow lady, you can add on eyelashes. It's totally up to you. You can give your snowman some personality, or snow person I should say, in case we have some snow ladies. Now we're going to add the arms. So just a straight line out and add on some branches. Straight line out and some little branches onto the twig. And the last detail for the snowman is, or are, his buttons down the front. You can do as many as you like. I'll do 3. And any wee details you might want to add to the hat or scarf, pop them in. All right, I'm happy enough with that. That's my snowman done. The only other drawing lines now that we have to do is down here. I want to put a little bit of layer of snow at the bottom. So you can take your pencil and do a nice curved line either side of your snow globe base. That's our drawing done. That's our drawing complete. Okay. Now, before we start the painting, what you need to do is take your grey oil pastel and just even outline the snow globe, because if you painted over that, it might be hard to find that perfect circular shape again. So definitely give that an outline, because even if you painted over it, you'd still see the oil pastel through the paint, whereas you may not see pencil. So nice and carefully outline your snow globe with a grey. I've chosen grey instead of black because black can sometimes just be a little bit severe, a little bit kind of make it look cartoony. So grey just softens it a bit. Okay, I might even outline my snow lines and my base. And then I might leave the other outlines to the end. We will do a little bit of outlining when it's painted and dry. Okay, that's all I'm going to outline for now, before we do the painting. So once you've that done, get your paint materials ready. Get your brushes, your water, paint, and a mixing plate. So I have already pre-poured some blue and white paint. So in this one, the blue is all the one tone, it's all the same color at the background. In this piece, I'm going to show you going from a darker blue and getting a little bit lighter. Okay, so we're going to show a little bit of depth and value in this piece. So I'm going to start with my dark blue at the top, get a nice clean brush. You might actually want tissue to dab your brush in. I have a little piece here that I can use just to clean off your brush, or a wipe or something. Just make sure it's dry. Just have a wee tissue that you can, as I said, dab your brush into. So I'm going to make a start now and start with the top. So I'm going to start with the dark up along the top. Okay. Now I'm not going to color the whole background in this color. I'm going to kind of do maybe 3 different tones. I'm going to come down as far as here with my dark blue, then a kind of another lighter blue, and then quite light down at the bottom. I will mix it down and show you. Okay. And taking your time, and a nice thin layer of paint. We don't need a big thick layer of paint that will wet your page and even make a hole in it. You just use a little bit of paint. And it's okay if you go over your lines, because you'll be outlining them again at the end. Now we want the snow globe to look see-through, so you must come down through the snow globe with your colour that you're using in your background. Okay, now I'm going to start going into a lighter colour. So I'm going to take some white, and if you're sharing with someone, make sure you clean your brush before you go into other paints, so you're not covering someone's white and blue or something like that. I'm the only one using this paint, so I'm not washing in between, but make sure you wash in between if you're sharing with someone. Now, I have made, you see the way I've made a lighter one? So to make any colour lighter, you use white. So I took a little bit of white to the side, started adding blue until I'm happy with the colour. And that's kind of the shade I want next. So now I'm going in with that, and I'm kind of going to blend it in. I might need another bit of blue just to help me blend them in. So again, I'm going to paint another third of it. I'm going to come down to about here with this colour. So I'll just mark it out. And if you fancy a different colour for your background, like a sunset or, you know, pastel pinks or something, go for it. It doesn't have to be blue. I just like the blue for like a nice winter colour, but you could do, as I said, a nice sunset or sunrise or something with pinks and yellows and oranges could be nice as well. A nice winter sunrise. As you can see, I've gone over my arms, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. I can come back to those in a little while when I'm outlining. And I'm going to come down as far as there. So I'm trying to be really careful not to go on top of my snowman details, because we'll be painting them now in a couple of moments. Okay, so I'm going to come down as far as there. Now I'm just going to blend up that top a little bit better by taking some of the dark blue, coming down with it. I didn't really want the line, I wanted them to kind of blend naturally. Now, so a wee bit better. Okay, now my final colour down here, I'm going to take plenty of white and just add a little bit of blue, and that will be light enough for the bottom. and we paint the rest of that background. And to leave this part down here white, remember it's snow. That's your horizon line where the ground meets the sky. And just get that last little colour on. As I said, you might have gone for one full colour for the background, and that's perfect too. You'll be painting away as long as it's all painted in. And don't forget to paint in your snow globe too. We want it to look see-through. Now, and try and blend with that colour that you used previously. So I'm trying to blend this in now with my middle blue. Now, I might even need a wee bit of blue to help with that blending. Yeah. Now, I'm happy enough with that background. Okay, so you can kind of see the 3 different shades. Just gives it a wee bit more interest, a wee bit of value to the piece. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I've done my background, I'm going to wash my brush. The next thing I'm going to paint is all the white, so the white snow and the snowman himself. So clean your brush really well, dry it off, and then into the snow. Into the white, sorry, and paint the snow. Into your white and start painting your snow. And make sure your brush is nice and clean. Okay. Lovely. And then I'm going to do in here the layer of snow inside the snow globe. Okay. And now I'm going to do the snowman. Okay. Nice and carefully around the black buttons. And now I'm going to do his face. Okay, now I might be going nice and quick, but you make sure you take your time. I've covered up his eyes and mouth, I don't mind that because I know where they will go. And then down here, I'm going to finish off this little corner of snow. Now, the last thing, oh no, it's not the last. We still have a few bits to paint. We still have the hat and scarf. These will be small details like the arms and the buttons and the nose. I'm happy to do them with oil pastels. If you want to paint them, go ahead. The only other things I'm going to paint are the base and the scarf and the hat. Actually, what I might do in this one is go back to your blue and add a little small bit of blue. So I'm going to this little one that I made, the lightest one, and add a little bit of blue just to the top of your snow and to the edges. It kind of just gives it a little bit more of a 3D effect. Take a little bit of blue onto your snowman. Okay, and I'm just going to go down that right hand side of the snowman with the blue, just on each little ball. Okay, now, oh, went over, put my fingers on that white. Okay, so I just add a little bit of blue to give it a little bit of a 3D effect. I didn't do it in this one, but I think it might look nice. Okay, so let's do our hat and scarf and face. I'll start with, so these little colours, I get them in Mr. Price. They're brilliant. Now my own kids might have mixed all my colours, but it's okay. I'll be able to use them. Let me see now what we've got here. I love this set because it's a pastel set, so it's gorgeous. I'm going to go with those. They're nice, kind of wintry colours. Take a brush and I'm going to do the same kind of colours for my hat and scarf. I'm going to go pink on the scarf. Okay. You might need a thinner brush when you're doing these kind of details if you've been using a thicker brush for the background. And I'm going to do my hat pink as well. And then I will do maybe some purple for the top of the hat. Purple and purple for this bottom part. Okay. Now, that's my snowman done. I'm going to move on to the base. So I might do the first stripe purple. So the top one is going to be purple. And I'll wash my brush. And the second stripe I might do green. Now I have painted over my designs, but I don't mind because I will just go over them in the oil pastels when it has dried out. Okay. Now the third stripe, I am going to do pink. So as I said, you can do any colours at all when you are painting your own. You don't have to do the same as me. You can make your piece your own. And again, I've painted over all my little pencil details, but I can still see them. So I'll be able to go over them with the oil pastels when it's dry. On the last one, I might use this kind of bluish colour in the paints. I might use that for the last one. Now, oh, went out a bit there. It's okay. But those grey outlines are great because we can see them really well, the oil pastel outlines. Okay. Now, take a wee look now and see where we're at. So we have our background painted, we have our snowman painted, we have our base painted. Yeah, that's all the paintwork for now. Just taking a wipe for my hands. So the next step for you is to let this dry, okay? And then when it's dry, you take your oil pastels or paint markers and you do in the rest of the details. So I'm gonna let this one dry and you'll probably let yours dry, but I am gonna show you how to continue and finish the piece in this video. So I have one that I prepared earlier, so I'm gonna lift this one. Right, so when you get to that stage, you need to let it dry. That's the paintwork done. Okay, so I'm going to switch that one out to one that I did very similar earlier to be able to do this to show you. Okay, so that's mine all dried. Same kind of thing. As you can see, I did the dark at the top and got lighter as I came down. I've got the blue on the snowman. The blue paint, we have our lovely colourful base, and we have our snow globe and everything outlined. So then the next step would be, oh, I've actually done this step Sorry, I have done that a wee bit, but you can actually wait for it to dry to do this step, but I might have started it. So take a paintbrush. Actually, we'll do that in a second. We'll start with the oil pastels to finish it off. So when you've let your piece dry, take your oil pastels and start finishing off any details. So I'm going to do my nose, orange. Any details that you need to do, you do them now with your oil pastels. I'm going to go over. I'm going to stick with my grey for outlining, but you might want to use brown for the arms, and that's perfect. I'm going to outline my snowman. I'm going to outline my scarf. I'm doing all this with grey, but you can pick whatever colour you like. Okay, I'm going to do the side of the face and go around the hat a little bit too, just to make him stand out. Okay, happy enough with that, and we've done the rest of our lines. So now I am going to, oh, I didn't do the buttons. I do those as well. Now, I'm going to add some black to my eyes. Now just be careful with the black in case it smudges. I'm going to add some black to my buttons. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go over some of these. So I'm going to leave my white out. I might do some green for my trees. So you will have different details. You can outline them any way you like. I might do some yellow for my stars. Oil pastels go nicely over paint. So you can see the yellows coming out over the purple. That's my stars. I might do, for the bows, I might do a nice purpley colour to stand out. It's just hard to get a thin tip on oil pastels. So I'm trying to use the edge of them for this little small detail. That's why I was thinking the Posca pens or acrylic markers might be a little bit better, or even just plain felt tip markers might be good as well. And then for my snowflakes, I might do some white. Add on my wee V's, they'd be hard to add on with. I'd need a wee small fine tip for these, because they're quite detailed, quite small. And the last one. Okay, so that's my base done, and you see the oil pastels just gave it a wee bit of a lift. Now, this is where I want to show you just how to put the paint on. You can use paint or oil pastel for this, to be fair, but I'll show you with paint, and then you can do some oil pastel as well if you wish. So you dip back into your white paint if you get some out the next day, and as I said, oil pastel is perfect for this step as well, but we want the snow globe to look a little bit like glass and see-through. So we're going to take some white paint or a white oil pastel and just follow the shape, the circular shape, just a little bit at the edge, and maybe one or two inside, again at the edge, and one or two inside, and just gives that kind of a shine and makes it look a little bit like glass. And don't be afraid, this snowman is meant to be inside the snow globe, so don't be afraid to go over your outlines. Don't be afraid to go over any parts of your snowman. That'll make it look more realistic. So you do some curved lines, just following the shape of your snow globe, and get some nice white lines on. Okay, now, happy enough with that. And then the last thing that we want to do is add some snow. So sorry, I'm just doing another little bit of the shine. Okay, as I said, just work away even on top of the snow because it's meant to be, that's the glass and that's all inside. Now, the last part is adding in the snow. Now, if you want, you can use an oil pastel and dot it on like so, okay? So I'll show you adding on some like this, how it looks. Set it away for a second. As well. Okay, so dotting on some snow using an oil pastel will look like this. And you could do a mixture of both. You can do paint and oil pastel, or you could do one or the other. It's totally up to you. And lots inside your snow globe. Snow globes are full of lovely snow. But how I did it in this piece was I splatted the paint on with my brush. So I will show you how to do that now. You take a brush, okay, make sure it's quite wet. Make sure that you don't rub the water off. You pop it into your white paint, okay, you can even pop it back in the water if you like, into the white paint. It does need to be quite wet, and then using your fingers and the brush, just pull, you're going to pull the bristles of the brush back, and as if you're splatting it onto the page like this. See the way it's coming off? The paint is splatting down onto the page, and it just leaves a lovely snowy effect on your piece, and it does it so quickly. It's so nice. I might do one more little go and that'll be me finished. So again, I've taken some water, some paint, using my fingers, I'm going to pull those bristles back and do it nice and close to the page. Don't be doing it really far away and getting everything around you. Just nice and close to the page, splat it down. Doesn't matter if you go over any parts of your snowman. He's inside the snow globe, he's getting covered in snow, so that's nice. And that's it. That is our snowman in a snow globe art. I'm just going to get a wee wipe here for my hands. And as you can see, the snow just sparks everywhere, and it looks so lovely and festive. I have a little bit on my eye. I might just uncover the eye just to see him smiling. All right, and the nose. But otherwise, I would leave it. I wouldn't take it off anything else. So there you go. There you have it. It's nice and simple. You do need the 2 steps because you do need to let the initial painting dry. And then when it's dried, add your details with oil pastels, and finally add your snow with the paintbrush. I hope you enjoyed following along this tutorial, and